Greetings. Greetings, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever your time zone might be. My name is Nikki Mergafori, and I'm delighted to be joining you this week, supporting us and Gail, who's teaching a retreat this week. So, the theme that I'd like to invite us to explore this week is the 5 aggregates, and I'll say a lot more about it later. But for now, let's just begin meditating together, sitting together. So let's begin. Let's arrive. Let's arrive in our bodies. Let's arrive in this moment in time. And let us sit with a sense of integrity on this earth, a sense of dignity, internal dignity, dignified, no matter what is going on, whatever the conditions of the mind and the body. And we meet them with a physical form that is dignified. If you're sitting, allowing your spine to be straight, sense of integrity, dignity. If you're lying down and standing also, letting the body have a sense of dignity in its posture. And while we sit with our back straight, aligned, as if an invisible string is pulling up on our head ever so gently, straightening, aligning our vertebrae, one vertebrae at a time. We also want the body to be relaxed so that the sense of uplift is not forced. It feels natural. The body's being uplifted, this form, and at the same time is being pulled down by gravity. The muscles are relaxed by gravity, offering their weight to the earth. As if we have wings and have roots. And suspended with ease. Inviting the feet to feel the earth, to feel the contact points. For our sit bones to feel the contact points. Hardness, softness, heaviness. The edges. The sensations of aliveness. and inviting awareness to hold the breath, relaxing and receiving the breath in the abdomen, one breath at a time. And offering the heart, the mind, inviting a sense of spaciousness in this moment. So that if thoughts are arising, preoccupations, ruminations, they come and they go. They're not like kryptonite, locking up the mind, but they come and they go. They're like a river, they flow. There's so much space. And the breath, receiving the breath, each breath. Each in breath, each out breath provides connection to the spaciousness, to the steadiness of the heart and mind. letting there be more awareness of the body, the way this body is sitting, whatever posture this body is in, bringing awareness to the posture, the sense of perception we have as humans, having a sense of the internal orientation of the body in the suttas identified as the body postures. Know that you're sitting and breathing. Also knowing, being aware that the experience of this body internally is composed of many different sensations. Sensations of hardness, softness, flow, temperature, coolness, and heat. Pressure, release. Letting ourselves become curious in a relaxed way. Let the body be relaxed, the heart be relaxed. Curious about the experience of this body internally. So much as a concept, body, hand, leg, but the constituents of the experience, the flow of experience, the marvel of the flow of experience. Touch, vibration, heat, pressure, all of these sensations. The heart can relax actually when we simplify. We go down to the constituents of the experience. With a sense of awe, curiosity, marvel. As we turn towards the experience of being human, this experience of this body in its constituents, sensations, the flow, the vibrations, hardness, softness, temperature throughout the body, opening up, making this the measure of our attention. We begin to perceive, to see differently. Our usual preoccupations soften. They release. See for yourself the transformation. When you open up your awareness, relax into the awareness of the body sensations, knowing the body, this form. Not through interpretation of concepts, but through the elemental experience of sensations. Perception, nociception, there's so many sensations, sensors through this body. See for yourself. Heart, the mind can relax, the body can relax. A different way of being and seeing. as if we're gently tethering the mind to the body, to the sensations, to knowing the body. Tying the mind, the busy mind, to a post so it can settle and see differently. And as we bring this meditation period to a close, letting there be appreciation for yourself, for your dear self, for having brought yourself to this meditation at this moment in time, planting seeds, and not judging how this period was, whether it was distracted, sleepy, or deeply concentrated, or whatever. Not judging, not attaching to outcome in this moment, but trusting that you're planting seeds, shifting, turning the flow of patterns of the heart and mind little by little through your intention, with gratitude to yourself and all the causes and conditions that have enabled you to be a part of this practice with the Sangha, with the community, with appreciation for them and the teachings, and all the causes and conditions again that have brought us to this point. Many of them challenging, of course. To be human is challenging, and many of them wonderful blessings. And sharing the goodness of our practice with all beings everywhere. May my practice, a single moment of awareness, of kindness, wisdom, may be of service, not just to myself, definitely to myself, to my loved ones, those I know and those I don't know, all beings everywhere. May my life be of benefit in ways I cannot understand. May it be of service to all beings everywhere. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your practice. Hello again, and good day. So, so for this week, I'd like to invite us to explore the teachings on the five aggregates. So, I was thinking about what might be a good topic to discuss this week, and so many beautiful topics have been covered in these 7 a.m. Pacific time teachings. And I looked back and I saw that the five aggregates hasn't been discussed as a series for a long time, for years. And it's such a rich uh, teaching. And I wanted to do my best to bring heart to the five aggregate teaching, because even the word, the name five aggregates, like what is the aggregate thing? It just seems kind of complex and very heady, but it's not heady. It's so let's explore. So the five khandas can also be translated as heaps, as these five things. And these five things, they are the constituents of experience. They are the way that as human beings, we experience the world and experience um, all the ways that we experience the world are through the combination of these five aspects. Of course, experience could be cut up in so many different ways. This is one way to cut the pie. So what are the five heaps? What are the five heaps? The aspect of the heap and the reason. So let me mention that and I'll unpack a little bit. So the five are, the first one is form or rupa, uh, internal, external stuff, rupa, form. And also notice that these go from coarse to subtle. So rupa being the coarsest level of how we experience reality, our reality as humans. Then there is Vedana or feeling tone. The feeling tone, pleasant, unpleasant, and neither unpleasant nor unpleasant, neutral. So the sense of impression, this what the impressions, the sense impressions, the feeling tone, the valence on the mind. And the next is sanya, perception, which is our how we perceive uh, objects internally, externally. And I'm just going to name them because each of these will go through them each every day. And then sankharas, which often translate as mental formations, mental activity, and the lead being volition, intention, volitional activities of the mind, of speech, of body. And the last one being consciousness or vijnana is the most subtle of them all. So these five, so today I like to spend more time with form or rupa. But in order to talk a little bit about what heap or the skandhas are, it in a way, if you think of, say, our experience is an amalgamation. It's a heap. It's a combination. It's a gestalt. It's a combination of these five aspects. These five aspects form our experience. So the same way, in a way, we can think of, say, water. When we talk about water, water is water, and yet there is the aspect of, say, turbidity, whether the water is turbid or whether it's clear, the color of it, what color the water has, whether what the temperature of the water is, these different aspects of water and all of these different dimensions and aspects of the water. And how much salty, whether there's sugar in it, saltiness, and then the various aspects, constituents. So these aspects of experience that really come together and yet we can lean into one or the other. We can really become tuned into the color of the water. What color is it? Does it have dye in it? So we can lean into knowing these different aspects, these constituents of experience. And instead of just seeing it as a compact experience, so why, many reasons we want to do this. Why do we want to engage with this practice of seeing the different constituents of experience, separating it out? Again, very little time, so very briefly. Often we take our experience as this aggregate, this perhaps we're lost in our thoughts. We are overwhelmed by thoughts, and we're ruminating, and it's just kind of it becomes a mess. Maybe there's body pain, and the body pain becomes why me, and everything just kind of like actually maybe a better example is the sensations of a body pain then give rise to Vedana, feeling tone, and that gives rise to particular formations, mental formations, and our consciousness is perceiving it in a particular way. So these 5 aggregates, as you can see, are kind of coming together, and then the mind, rumination, these mental formations can just kind of go off the rails. So pause, right? We can actually start to see, oh yeah, these, if I get to see the constituents of my experience for what they are, then it doesn't become so overwhelming and so messy all of a sudden. And also we take it a little less personally. It's not, we have a foothold in the middle of this experience of being human. It becomes a little more manageable. The same way that, if you wake up in the morning and like, I'm overwhelmed, there's so much I have to do. But if you actually create your to-do list, okay, I need to do grocery shopping, okay, I need to buy this and that, okay, that's that. Oh, I need to make an appointment, I need to call this person. Okay, yeah, there's a sense of it's becomes not as entangled. So and of course the 5 aggregates of these constituents of experience, also, as I mentioned, we can, when we lean into each and every one of them, we can get to see the flow of experience as it arises and passes, its impermanence, its impersonality, and its unsatisfactoriness in a heartful way. Like, oh yes, there is more freedom available. There's so much more freedom than what the a mind is clinging to, is mere mind, is fixed. So given the time I've spent with setting the stage of why it's important, and many other reasons. This could be an hour-long Dharma talk about 5 aggregates, why it's important. But I want to spend a little bit of time with the first one so that we can spend time with the other ones this week. So form or Rupa. So form, internally, externally, our experience of the world is through our perception. Sanya, we'll get to that in a couple of days, of form, and consider that in the teachings, form is talked about in terms of the 4 elements. And the 4 elements, actually, in many ways seem like, to the modern mind, seem like an archaic teaching. Oh, really? Like you're saying that the body and externally everything in the world is made up of earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. Like that just seems so basic. And I have to say that was my perception too when I started to practice, and through years and years of practice, and also exploring scientific understanding, there are many interesting corollaries that I can see. And actually, I gave a hour-long talk at IMS about the four elements practice and modern science. So maybe I'll put the link in that later if anyone's interested. But ever so briefly, to say that if we, first of all, if we consider that the point of this teaching really in Buddhism is for us to get an understanding of the four elements. Just bear with me for a moment. These aspects, elements inside, elements outside. And that's also the same thing that modern science tells us. In fact, Alan Lightman, the well-known astrophysicist, has famously said that if you take every atom of your body, and if you could put a tag on it, and if you could go back billions of years, you could really see it is stardust. It is stardust. We are stardust. This is stardust. Stardust inside, stardust outside, internal, external. It's just these elements. There's no difference. And that to me blows my mind. It's stardust, this striker. It's this similar, kinship of form, internal, external. Another way to relate to the four elements is also as this if we think of the way in science there are solids and liquids and gases and also an energy. So E equals to mc squared. There's energy and there's matter. So fire as this energy, as energy element, and being able to be being transformed one way or either energy or matter. And then and thinking of matter as the three ways that it shows up, either as solids, liquids, or gases. So it's a way to for us as modern folks to relate to this concept of four elements inside and outside, gases and solids and liquid inside, outside, and of course energy and movement inside and outside. So and of course relationally, as we experience the four elements, it comes down to our maybe I'm going to pause here because we're out of time. I'll say more about that tomorrow, because there are two ways that the four elements teachings we can relate to, both as matter inside, outside, the four elements inside, outside, as well as our sensations, the way we perceive, our perception, which relates to death. Anyway, I'll say more about that. I'll just pause here. So there's so much here to explore. This is fun. So thank you so much for your practice. So, the invitation, I wanted to invite you today, as we explored in the meditation, to lean into a constituent of your experience with the body as you move around the world, as you feel your body, as you sense the body internally, externally, matter, form inside, form outside, stardust inside, stardust outside, four elements in, out, relating to the constituents of your experience, leaning into that and see how that might shift and change the way we are. Okay, we experience the word. Thank you so much, everyone. Be well and see you tomorrow. Bye.